All right, well, welcome to the show. Gertie is taking a nap. We're going to feed her some lunch because it is almost lunch, so we thought we'd start in the kitchen. And we are lucky to have lots of fresh seafood at our fingertips here in the Pacific Northwest. But when it comes to eating shellfish, do you cook it at home or do you only get it when you're out to eat? Because I rarely make shellfish at home myself. But author Cynthia Nims is out with a new book called Shellfish, giving us tips on how to easily cook delicious seafood at home. So we're really grateful to have you here. Good morning, Cynthia.
Thanks. It's great to be back here with you.
You are back for the first time. You've been here many times, but I'm glad to have you with me.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
And I'm really glad to be talking about this because, again, seafood is one of those things that's a little intimidating for folks. Why is that the case?
Well, I think partly it is, it can be a cost factor because it can be expensive, and so you want to be sure that the product you are buying is going to be delicious and, you know, turn out really well. So sometimes there's a little bit of intimidation. And also I think in the case of shellfish, there's so many different varieties that need slightly different techniques and cooking times and all of that. So I think that maybe just the diversity of ways to cook shellfish can be a little intimidating because of just the different needs that each type might have.
100% that's true. The only shellfish I've ever really gotten to cooking at home is shrimp because it's pretty straightforward. You know, if it's pink, it's okay.
Right.
But what are we making today? What are these? Are these scallops?
So these are scallops. Yeah, these are little bay scallops. They're small. It's a different variety than the larger sea scallop folks might be familiar with. And it's a nice option because it's really versatile. You can use it a whole range of different ways. From, like today, we're doing a really quick saute. It can be in a pasta dish or in soups or in a number of things. It's bite-sized, which is great. And it's also less expensive than those glorious big sea scallops, which are gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
They can be really expensive. They're a treat. Sometimes you only need 2 or 3 for a serving. And in that case, it's such a glorious product that I tend to recommend just searing them. Just keep it really simple. Let the glory of that beautiful, delicious sea scallop come through. And so that's a different sort of approach to cooking scallops. Where here, the Bay scallops, you can do a whole number of different things.
And I like that it's more affordable. I was telling you earlier that my mom actually bought half a dozen sea scallops at Pike Place Market, and they were beautiful, and she made them gorgeous, but it was like $75 for 6. So
yeah, that's a
pricey thing. That's not your everyday meal.
One. Yeah, and it does kind of depend on the size. The larger they are tend to be a little more expensive, but then they're also more glorious, and you can really showcase them beautifully.
So, but let's showcase these. Yeah, I love it. How do we get started?
So what I'm doing today is it's a salad. It's a very light, simple salad with citrus and radishes, so bright, crisp flavors, and it's going to be accented with these warm scallops, and then a really quick dressing that's made right in the pan. After the scallops come out. But one of the things that I think folks might not be super familiar with is this technique to get these lovely citrus sections out of the fruit. So what you do first is you cut each end off. And then you work your way around the fruit in just a circular motion. You're just following the curve of the fruit.
Well, you just cut the peel right off.
Cut the peel right off.
Okay. Now, how do you cut it in sections?
Well, then,
because that's where I think I would destroy it.
Well, then you hold it over a bowl because it's going to be juicy, and you just take your knife down. You see where the membranes are. You just go down either side of that membrane, and then the section
so you cut wedges out. You don't try to cut it right in half.
No. You're just cutting these little wedges out. The juice is falling into the bowl, which is a great thing. And then when you're done, you have this core of all the membrane, and you squeeze that to get the maximum juice out when you want the juice.
So there's lots of juice in there already to help with the salad.
Yeah, in this case, actually, I already took the juice off because it's going to be part of the dressing.
Okay, all right.
So, but when you're going to capture the juice, and you can save it for something else if you don't need it in that recipe. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I already sliced up some radishes. Just toss them in there.
All right.
And then use the tongs to toss them around a little bit.
I can do this. I'm very good at this. I'm very good at tossing.
And then you can arrange them on the 2 plates.
I'll do that while you do this.
Well, I get this up. So I did kind of pre-cook a little bit the scallops just to save a little bit of time. But because they're so small, they cook super quickly. So if you can go ahead and put them on the plate. So they cook really quickly. And then I'm going to go ahead and put them directly onto the salads, and we'll do the sauce.
You say quickly, but about how many minutes?
2 to 3 minutes for these really small ones. It can be 4 or 5 if they're a little bit bigger. And this is also more of a medium heat. I'm not searing them like you might the larger scallops.
Copy
that.
And
they do, different types of scallops can give off a little bit of liquid. This amount is not a problem.
It's not a lot of
there's
liquid.
A lot more than that, you might want to take it off and have it, so just so you don't have a super watery.
And you just lay them right on top?
Just laying them on top.
And I like this is because, you know, I'm not very good at arranging things and making it look beautiful, but you could just plop it down. I mean, yours obviously looks better than mine, but it still looks very fancy.
Well, there you go. That's nice. And I think part of it is just the beauty of the radishes and the
colors.
Yeah, the colors are great. So in goes the
grapefruit.
Now I'm going to turn. This is
orange.
just the juice that came.
Okay.
Oh, and I forgot to mention it is grapefruit, orange, and lime.
Grapefruit, orange, and oh, look at the little lime.
Little bit of lime.
There.
Some people might find the lime a little bit too strong in flavor, and you can certainly leave it out if you want. But I like that little bit of brightness that comes from the lime.
Everyone loves a little bit of citrus. It really pops it. So now you're making the sauce.
So
and
this
you've
is
got
just a,
oil.
I just added some oil and citrus juice, which is basically like the base of any vinaigrette. It's an acid element in the oil, and I'm just warming it up a little bit. You do want to sort of let it reduce a teeny bit so it's not super liquidy.
Soupy.
Super soupy.
Okay.
But then that's basically it. You drizzle it over your salad.
All right, I can
then,
drizzle.
do you want to drizzle?
Sure,
okay,
I'll
careful,
drizzle.
careful.
And did you put some, I saw you put like just a pinch
just
of
a
salt.
little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay. Ooh,
That's
how
good.
am I doing?
That's good, that's good.
It's not
Very
really
nice.
easy to drizzle in this pan, but.
No, I know.
But we got this. How's
That's
that? Is that
awesome.
too
That's
much? Should I
good.
put all of it in there?
Go ahead.
So we're gonna put all the sauce in there.
So that becomes sort of a warm salad with the citrus
and then finish it with some chive?
Yep. Could be slivered arugula. You could use
arugula.
Sliced green onion if you like.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, well, let me give this a shot. Here you are. Thank you
masterful.
so much.
Yeah, you bet.
And by the way, just as we're finishing up here, is this kind of a main dish, or is this something that you would serve as a first course?
I think it could be either. I think as a main dish for a light supper, if you wanted to have some pasta alongside perhaps, or a grain salad or something. Or yeah, it'd be a lovely first course for a dinner party. You could make smaller portions and just serve it before maybe a main course.
This is just perfect for summer. I'm
okay.
trying to get all the things in here.
Yeah, all the things, yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to do this in the break because I need to talk still. Cynthia, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
And she shared her recipe for her scallops with us right now, and you can find it on the New Day website. You are welcome.